NASA receives a mysterious message from an astronaut that got separated from his spacecraft and flew off into space 20 years earlier. He says he's at the edge of the universe. The sounds of telephones ringing and computers clicking were just a couple signs that everything was going as usual in the office. It was a large room, occupied by about 100 or so workers, each of them busy at their own workstations with their busy workloads. "What do you mean you see life?" Larry asked him, with a look of confusion. "I mean I'm getting a signal, Lar. Come here and look at this, make sure I'm not crazy or something." Vincent responded. Larry squinted at the screen for a moment and pushed his glasses against his face. It took him a second to read everything and make sure he was seeing it properly. "Holy smokes, Vince, that signal definitely indicates some sort of life form. I'm gonna run and tell the boss." "Hey, hang on a minute. You know how busy he gets, we don't want to bother him if it's nothing. These types of signals do happen every so often." All right, but I'm sitting at your desk until it fades away." They both sat in front of the computer screen, trying to hide their excitement about as successfully as a kid the night before Christmas. Two grown men, squished in front of a screen, giggling beyond their control. "What do you think it is? Or what could it be?" "Who knows, Larry, but time and time again these things happen. I really don't have too high of a hope for this thing." Beep. 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 The entire immediate group of men in their vicinity stopped what they were doing and looked over to Vincent's station. Larry looked over, wide-eyed, and gave off a quick shrug. "Beep. Beep. We're receiving something. I'm getting some sort of information passed to my computer." Vincent started to yell. The entire room quickly caught on and began to huddle over the screen. "Someone call the boss." A voice screamed from the corner. Two men hurriedly ran out into the hallway to warn Ned, the man in control of the operations conducted out of this branch. After a couple brief moments, Ned emerged from the hallway and walked into the room. He was walking with a purpose, understanding the severity of the situation. "Throw it on the big screen," he commanded. Vince's monitor was quickly projected onto the main screen, a giant, movie theater-sized monitor at the front wall of the room. "Message being received, please hold while it is deciphered." The words appeared on the screen, and the entire room of 100-odd men went silent. Ned stood calmly, looking ahead at the screen with a look of determination on his face, like he was expecting something. "Message being received, please hold while it is deciphered." More silence. "Message being received, please hold," and suddenly, the monitor's message disappeared. Everyone began to look around, some even blaming Vince for touching something and messing it up. Whispers became murmurs, and murmurs turned into shouts. The whole room was in an uproar. Ned stood and waited faithfully. H. A single letter appeared on screen, and the entire room went quiet again. E. L. L. O. Despite the silence in the room, the heavy breathing was quite audible at this point. No one knew what to do or say as they watched the letters appear on screen. "It's." There was a brief pause that, although only lasted a couple seconds, felt like an eternity. "Phil." Ned let out a cry, but quickly covered his mouth with both hands as his face turned red. The men looked over at him, surprised. Tears were streaming down his face, onto his cheeks, and into hands. Larry looked at Vincent, having absolutely no idea what was going on. "Wait. Phil," he wrote. "It's Phil. Phil Tullenstein? The guy who worked here like 25 years ago?" Vincent asked loudly, as he stood up and looked towards Ned. Ned just nodded, hands still on his face, tears continuing to pour. "If you receive this message." The room read intently. "I'm still alive." The room broke out into cheers, hugging and high-fiving one another. Most of these men had no idea who Phil Tullenstein was, but they understood the magnitude of the event. They were witnessing something unprecedented. They were witnessing history. "I'm at." The room was still celebrating. "The edge of the universe." The room began to quiet down. "If you are reading this." Another momentary pause took place, only creating a more tense environment in the room. "I'm sorry to inform." The screen once again malfunctioned, and the room looked toward Vincent. He in turn looked to Ned. He was just as anxious, nervous, and scared as they were. The silence in the room was deafening. Not a single sound was made for at least 2 minutes, as they waited. "They're coming." The broadcast died out and the monitor went blank.